113 miles. You read that right. Come along with me and the Outlaw Rods. We're going to be taking the Outlaw Rods. We're going to be trolling the whole entire lake with jigs, minnows, and crankbaits, starting on the furthest end of the upper end of Pomme de Terre River. And we're going to go all the way completely around the lake, clear all the way back up to Lindley Arms. This is part one. Like, share, comment, let me know what you think. fishoutlaw.com. We are going to put the Outlaw Rods to a test. Stick around, let me know what you think. All right, like I said, we're going to be fishing the entire Pomme de Terre Lake, and we are starting at the furthest upper end on the Pomme de Terre River. We are at P16. There's the ramp right there. It's just a gravel. Be careful if you use it, because after a good rain, it's going to mud over. If I can get this boat in with the two-wheel drive truck, but that's it. That's P16, and that is the last ramp that's maintained on this end of the river, Pomme de Terre River. All right, so I said we was gonna fish the entire Pomme de Terre Lake. We're gonna fish the Palmy River arm, and we're gonna take it all the way out to the main lake, all the way up the Palmy arm, straight up past Lightfoot, all the way up to the dam, and then we're gonna start our way back up the Lindley arm. Right now, I'm as far on the upper end of the Pomme de Terre River as I can get. The water's down about a foot. I can't get to the bridge and get past it. If you get past the bridge, you're good. You're pretty good. But right there's the boat ramp we just put in on. Pretty decent. It's in good shape right now. We're gonna see if the fish are biting. What I've got set up, I've got the exact same thing on both sides of the boat. You can see the bass are going crazy. The river is just so full of shad, it's unbelievable. It's gonna be really hard competing with the natural food that they got in this lake right now. But what we're going to do is we're going to troll two 12-foot rods I got on this side. And then we're going to do two 12-foot rods I got on this side. We're only going to end up with these two in the camera frame. But if I catch fish, you'll see it and all that, The two in the front, I got a 3/8-ounce sinker. Let me just show you. Let's pull it up and check it out. This is the rig I'm fishing with right now on the two in the very front. I got a 3/8-ounce weight. I got a live minnow, and about 12 inches above that, I got a minnow that's missing in action. So we're gonna put another minnow on here. And that's what I got the front two rods set up. The two behind that, I got set up with two jigs. One side's got plastic, one side's got hand ties. We're gonna probe this river all the way out to the main lake and find what they're biting on. A little bit of a cold front last night. August 20th, 2024. And right now, Pomme de Terre is at its normal pull. Maybe a few inches less, but pretty close to it. And we're not going to be trolling real fast. We're going to be doing like 0.4. We're going to be adjusting back and forth to the wind, and I'm going to zigzag the river on the channel side. So whatever side's closest to the channel, that's the side I'm going to put my baits in. And we're going to zigzag it. We're going to come out in the channel, go back up against the bank until you start to get to the drop off, and then we're gonna come back up to the channel. We're gonna zigzag it. When I hit little spots where there's trees laying in the water, we're gonna switch over to a slip bobber and a minnow and just probe those spots. Just looking to see where they're at. That's basically all we're doing. We're just hunting them down this morning, checking them out. Beautiful part of the river. This is one of the most probably unfished parts of this lake. A lot of guys that fish bass tournaments, they know it. On Saturdays and Sundays, you'll see a lot of bass boats heading up this way. Be careful. Know this river a little bit. Don't get yourself in trouble. Don't get stuck. I really wanted to go past the bridge, but I didn't trust that I'd be able to get that boat up that. There's like a 3-foot wide spot where it's usually about 4 foot deep. Sometimes I can squeeze between that rock sandbar and get my way up in there. But today, I didn't trust it. I could see the bottom all the way up through that channel, that little cut in the bank, so I wasn't going to push it. By myself, I ain't got nobody to help me push this out if it did get stuck. So I want to avoid that. Another thing to be careful of when you're fishing this river, if you're coming up through here, always be aware there could be kayaks, canoes. There's a lot of local people that do use this river. Beautiful scenery. Every fish that's in the main lake is in this river. Muskie, channel cats. You run into a lot more flatheads back here. Muskie, channel cats, flatheads, crappie, bluegill, bass, white bass. They're all up in here. It's just a really good fishing spot. And I was kind of surprised there was 3 other trucks down here this morning. Usually through the week, you can almost guarantee you're going to have this spot by yourself. And we are using the 12-foot Outlaw rods. 2 jigs, 2 minnows, 2 minnows. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8 baits in the water. And we're going to probe these spots like where these trees are and some of that stuff on the bank. And we're just going to check to see if the crappie up there. But I've got to kind of stay in the channel because you're talking like right now we're in 8 foot. That's pretty much average depth of most of this, except for where the sandbars are and where it's silted in. From this point, I won't be able to get actually to the main lake. I'll have to take out, put in up the Bolivar Landing and come back in the other way. But this is going to be part 1. Like I said, I'm going to go as far as I can possibly get. Water was another foot higher, we'd be on the other side of the bridge without a doubt. But we're just going to probe some of these spots to see what happens. I know we can catch bluegill. Pretty sure we can catch the bluegill, but I want to see where the crappie are at in here right now. And I think we're going to have to find some deeper holes to find the crappie. But I think when you do find them, they're probably going to be stacked in those spots. But I don't plan on starting the outboard from here as far as I can get to the main lake. That's what I plan on doing with the trolling motor. And like I said, the best way to do this, zigzag, get in a channel, go toward the bank, and just zigzag back and forth until you find where they're holding at. I'm not picking up a much on LCR, not running live scope. I just got normal sonar. Right now I'm running down scan and just normal 2D sonar. We're just hunting. Anybody ever fish this part of this river, this lake? At the right times of year, especially at the crappie spawn, when the white bass are moving, smallmouth are biting, the walleye are biting, this river is unbelievable. Awesome fishing. But like I said, just be careful. A lot of smaller boats end up back here too. It's a great place. We even bring the canoe down here. We canoe it sometimes. Fun place to fish. Bass fishing can be phenomenal back here. Top water. A tip, if you're going to be fishing for the bass, anything black. Anything black, hands down, is usually best back up here in this river. Jigs, black and blue, spinner baits, black and blue, or white and purple. White and purple is another good color back here. Like I said, we're going to probe some of this stuff with slip bobber. You would not believe the shad. Like I said, I'm going to have a hard time competing because of the natural bait that's swimming right now. Pretty decent today. It's like going to be in the mid 80s, I think. Lot better than what it had been. A whole lot better. But we are also going to run, like I said, I'm going to use a slip bobber too, and I'm going to pick some of these shallow spots. Some of these shallow spots could be holding fish. We're going to find out. I'm picking up a lot of gar on it. I'm just going to troll right on down. Bunch of stumps right over here. It used to be one of the best crappie fishing holes on this river. Most people, when they got to this spot, they was getting ready to put their boat in. There's the ramp right there. That's what you get back here. You get a old school gravel boat ramp. Be careful. Check the weather. Make sure if it's been raining for a couple days or flooded, be very careful using that ramp because it muds in super, super deep. super deep. Somebody else can already put their boat in here. That's most boats I've seen back here since springtime, since the crappie were spawning and the white bass were moving. But I think everybody's expecting those white bass to turn on here pretty soon, and they're probably up this river somewhere right now. I knew I'd hit the white bass in here somewhere. There's two of them. I got two of them on at the same time. There's one. Let's just lay this one back here and get the other one. Just like that, fishing like this, when you hit the white bass in the river, you're probably really going to hit them. That's a strong fish right there for a white bass. Oh, there's two. That's why. Let me show you doing fishing double rigs like this. Oh, if I get them both up right there, testament to the 12-foot Outlaw rod, I'm both flipping two big white bass. Check that out. Crazy what the Outlaw rods handle. Yeah, so now we're like about a mile from that gravel boat ramp. Get into a spot where there's a big flat all the way down through here, just a perfect flat, not really a defined channel, just a deeper flat. We're running in like 11 and a half foot of water. The one thing about these big flats is gar absolutely love them, and this river right now on this flat is just loaded with gar. Got into a big mess a while back with the white bass, demolished everything, had to reset everything up, got going again, went back to try to catch them, didn't catch anymore. That's one thing about fishing for white bass. If you're fishing white bass, you'll run into big pockets of them and you'll catch them, then they're gone. They just shut off. They're chasing the shad. There's so many schools of shad that it's hard to figure out which one they're following unless they're busting the top. And they're not really busting the top all that well. Every once in a while you'll see it, but nothing consistent to be able to cast into and keep them hooked up. Just trolling down the river. Like I said, we're about a mile from the boat ramp. We're on a big mud flat. Coming up, you got the river that actually runs on the right-hand side. Left-hand side gets really shallow. It's full of stumps, full of trees. Definitely not going that way. But right up there where it starts to split, that's where we're going to start running into a good channel again. And around that corner, we're going to hit some like 20-foot water. I'm expecting the water temperature to be a little bit cooler. It's 83 degrees right here. Kind of a little bit muddy. Got a wind that's fighting us pretty hard this morning. But we're going to get up there and get in that channel and see what happens. So I'll be right back to catch fish. That's about as far as we're going to go on this stretch of the river. We went a mile and a half, 2 miles, trolled jigged the whole way, picked up a bunch of white bass. I got a live well full of white bass, and I got one big old gar the 12-foot Outlaw rod handle. Got it in the boat. I was surprised it had the hook in it as good as what it did, but it did. So I got a big gar. I'm gonna clean this gar and see what it tastes like. Check them out, fishoutlaw.com. Extremely durable, reliable, and they're not just for live scope guys trying to reach out. If you've got fish that are on a stump and you don't want to get close to them, the 12-foot Outlaw Crappie Pole will get you there. That'll get you there, keep the boat away from it, and get you at least 12 foot away from what you're fishing. Sometimes you don't want to spook them fish. You can get at 14. You'll have to check the website. I'm not really sure how big they get. Fishoutlaw.com, check them out. And this is the end of part 1 of fishing the entire Palminteri Lake. We ended up with 8 white bass and a big old gar. So we're gonna pack the boat up, clean everything up, and we're gonna head back to the ranch. Go back home, I'm hungry. Fishoutlaw.com, check them out. Okay, so just to give you an idea where we went, this is Palminteri Lake. And I started way down here in the middle of actually nowhere. I made it to right here at this bend in that wall. That's where I stopped at. So the next video, I can't get through here. The next video will be somewhere up in here, headed out toward Bolivar Landing and all that. So stay tuned, like, share, follow, check out where we're going. And like I said, we're gonna do the whole entire lake, both arms, trolling jigs and minnows from there all the way around and all the way back up. This is part 1. Like, share, and follow if you want to see the rest of it.